It's just when you think back.
Tape number 6 with Sam Novice. Why did you decide to come forward now?
My son asked me definitely to do it. He said that the people of your people, whatever you call yourself, have the ability, you have the machines, you have everything prepared, that it should come out, the world should know everything. And he wanted me, he called me specially, I should do it. Because I thought I gave it in Detroit would be enough. But he said no. Spielberg should have it too, so the whole world will have it. So I can tell you only this, in order to have everything what it went by the 5 years, you would need, not in 1 day or in 2 days, you would need a few weeks to sit. What the German murderers did in 5 years, how they have prepared the final solution through the biggest architects in Germany. They used the biggest architects to prepare for the final solution to kill all the Jews. It wasn't prepared in a hurry. It wasn't prepared just by 2 people. This was designed against a people who never read even a book about revolution, about defense, about violence, or about anything. Just against a people which only lived by the Bible. And they have succeeded because we didn't understand, our people didn't understand to defend themselves. They didn't understand that we have to sacrifice our life and beat back like the Arabs today are doing. They are doing aggressively. We didn't do. If we would do it, we would do it to defend ourselves, because we didn't go to Germany. The Germans came to us to eliminate us, which we didn't know who the Germans even were.
You mentioned if you had known then what you know now, you would have done things differently.
Absolutely. First of all, I would sacrifice my life. Naturally, we would have to go out and defend ourselves. We would try to take our families out wherever we can, the bush or somewhere else, and stand up. I remember we had a young man working in our place. And my father was, I think he was still alive, the beginning of the war. He came from one of the towns which they connected to the Third Reich. So he came to work for us, and I remember that he had organized with other people, and they bought long weapons, which means guns, from a German. They paid him money, they bought it from him. And I know for a fact also that these people did tie up one German and take away the weapons he was guarding. But afterwards, there were so many traitors that they betrayed them, and something that he was killed. So it was a possibility, if you understand, if you know that you have to fight first your enemies away, and don't save them. You have a traitor between you, don't worry to kill him. Eliminate him, and you have to be brutal. You have to go out and fight back. Not go to the slaughterhouse just like that. People, even 40 and 50, could fight back. What did they have to risk? Nothing. But we just didn't understand it. They wanted to believe what the Germans told them, that they are not going to kill them. They wanted to believe God is going to come in the last minute and save them. This is how they were brought up. But if you are more educated, you understand. If we would have the communists in Poland, the Jewish communists, there were some communists, I am sure that they would have organized. They read revolutionary books. In our home, you couldn't have a revolutionary book. You couldn't read revolution. You couldn't read fighting back. You couldn't read something violent. Nothing. That was the failure of our teachers. You live in a world of animals. You have to be prepared. This is what I have to say. You cannot be a very nice guy in the time when an army which destroyed Poland in 3 days, an army which destroyed France in a few days. How could we withstand an army like that? And Hitler used all of them against us. Not just the SD, not just the gendarmerie. They created special killers like the Ukrainians and the Lithuanians against us, and Hungarians and Romanians. And they sorted them all out. They used Romanians because they spoke Yiddish. They used Hungarians the same as the German SS, or the same as the Ukrainians. Ukrainians volunteered as killers. They volunteered into the German army to kill. The Lithuanians volunteered to kill Jews. We know that. And then their whole army, the SS and everything. You think about how many thousands of SS did they have surrounded the city by every roundup. And they rounded up a city of Jews to send them away to Treblinka. How much army do you think they had surrounded that city with? Thousands and thousands of SS, thousands and thousands of SD. They brought to Ostrovce not only the SD from Ostrovce, they brought from Radom, the whole SD from Radom for this Wysiedlenie, for the Aussiedlung. And they took the president from the Judenrat, who wore a police hat. They gave him a Jewish police hat with stars. That's how they fooled him. And he was standing with us in the line to go to the factory to work, because he could give himself a book. He was the president. This SD man from Radom, he was maybe 5 feet high, 5'4", took a stick, and he was beating him up over his head and over his hand and everything. The president was 60 years old. He was beating him. I thought he's going to beat him to death. He didn't beat him to death, but only he came down with us to the factory. 2 days later, the Ostrovce SD, the name Peter and Brune, came down. They took him with his wife, and they took him out to the cemetery, shot them both, and buried them. Finished. The president and his wife. So this fool who let himself fool by the SD, he was well, I don't know, I don't want to say he was intelligent, but he was a printer, so he had a little bit more education. Where was he with his mind to say, well, we can deal with Germans, there's nothing to deal with them, they have a final solution for us. Why don't we go out somewhere in the wilderness, in the bush, or anywhere else and fight back? What are you going to lose? You lose your heads or what? He knew already what they did in Galicia and other cities. They killed the people there till the last. Do you know in Lemberg and other cities, they didn't even guess the people. They took them out behind the city, they shot them, dead or half dead, and they buried them like that. So they knew what's going on. We knew what's going on. We tried to fool yourself. Now I see that our people try to fool themselves. Well, I have something to say, but I'm not going to say it here about somebody. It's something I'll tell you later. How foolish our people were. They believed that God is going to come the last minute and they're going to save us. You know. And they risked their life. They gave their life because of this belief that God is going to come the last minute and save us.
When somebody watches this tape, what do you hope they'll learn?
They will learn they have to grow up. They will learn that they cannot buy propaganda or baloney, whatever you will call it. They have to have their own mind. If you see that you have dangerous people growing against you, you have to do something. I am criticizing our organizations now here. I don't see any organization to teach our people, maybe some do, teach them karate, teach them how to go with weapons. Let them learn, let them know. Because these SS organize themselves under the protection of our government. They are protected from everything, and you go to their houses, you'll see how much ammunition you're going to find. You know that these Zundels, there are thousands of Ukrainian SS which are supporting Zundel, and they are preparing themselves, they are organizing themselves in every city, in every country, through anti-Semitism and through Hitlerism to get back. I just read in the paper about Moncton. They found literature in a house from these anti-Semitic organizations. So they are not sleeping, they're reorganizing themselves. Why don't we start up organizing ourselves now? Why should our generations not learn just to be doctors? Let them learn also how to be soldiers. I say to the Jewish people, be prepared. It can happen again. Reorganize. Teach young people, as you teach them to be a doctor, teach them also to defend themselves, a soldier, how to defend. Our people are not going to go out and hurt anybody, but it's not going to hurt if they will know how to take a gun in their hand and load the gun and unload it, or throw a grenade, or make a bomb. It's not going to hurt them. They should know it. Because if we're going to live again with the belief in whether God is going to come and going to help us, or our education is going to come and help us, then we are in trouble. We have to be prepared, because the SS, the Nazis, are reorganizing themselves because they saw that they have done such atrocities, such murder, such killing, such torture, and they got away with it. So they're not afraid to reorganize themselves. They are free. Nazism is free everywhere. They can be a Nazi in America. They can be a Nazi in Canada. Nothing to it. It's not a crime. They killed so many people, millions of people. They live in Canada, protected by the Canadian government, by the Australian government, and in Paraguay. All the officers, the big SS, the big ones, are in Paraguay, Uruguay, and Argentina. They live like kings there. How can you prove them? They killed all the people. Who's going to come back and say, he killed me? Isn't it enough that a Ukrainian SS went voluntarily to kill, that he did kill? What did you think he went for? A Lithuanian SS man went to kill, and he murdered and he killed. Now you have to prove him? You know he went for that purpose. You know he volunteered to it. How can you ever doubt that he killed? There's a Getz in Germany. He was a gendarme who killed a lot of people at the roundups. He killed people when they sent him to take out 1941 in April. They killed a lot of people. How can you prove him? The people who he killed was dead. Nobody else was standing by. He wouldn't be able to go out and watch. He didn't do it in public. They take them out, kill them near the house, and that's it. And we were sleeping in the house. I looked out through the window. It was awnings on top of the window. I looked through the hole. I saw they are shooting from our side. They were standing the gendarme our side because there were steps. Going in somewhere, they stayed on the steps and shooting across was only, 12 feet wide, the road. So they shot on the other side of the street. The people who came down, they took out from the houses. So you're going to tell me you have to prove to Getz that he killed? You know he killed. They all killed. All gendarmes killed. All as they killed. Every one of them killed many people, thousands or hundreds, and especially the Lithuanians and the Ukrainians, which their job was to kill. They volunteered to kill, especially Jews. The Lithuanians went and volunteered special to round up Jews and kill them. This is what they volunteered, and this is what they were doing. Not one of them was just a standby. He was doing the job. Here they live in Canada free. They are trying to prosecute 3 officers from them, the top men from them. They were all the same guilty. They all volunteered, not just the officers. Then you should see what's going on to try and prove them. Prove them what? You know they volunteered to murder and to kill, so what are you trying to prove? They are unashamed. That's why I give an advice to all the Jewish people. Don't just educate the people, your people in high education. Educate them also how to defend themselves. And if necessary, how to kill others. Don't be afraid of it. If somebody wants to kill me, I have a right to kill him. That's all. This is what I learned when I was 17, 18 years old, and now I am 74 years old. This is what I have learned, that only if we are a minority, we'll get killed, but at least they will pay a price for it. Here, what did they pay a price? The opposite. They get rewarded. They took them to Canada, to Australia, to the best countries in the world, and they're protecting them from justice.
Thank you for coming forward today.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us who's in this picture?
This is my wife.
What's her name?
Her name is Magda Novice.
And do you know when this was taken?
Probably about 45 after the war, right after the war.
What does this picture mean to you?
It means it's a schicksal. Thanks to this look, she survived. If not for this look, she would not survive.
And who's in this photograph?
This is my older daughter and my younger daughter.
And what's your older daughter's name?
Ruth, and Marilyn is the younger.
And when was this taken?
This was taken, I would say, in 1960s.
And where was it taken?
Here in Toronto, on Witchwood Avenue.
And who is in this photograph?
This is my son's bar mitzvah in Israel, where my wife and my second daughter were present.
And what is everybody's name?
It's Marilyn is my daughter's name, the middle one, and Fred is the bar mitzvah, and to the left is my wife, Magda.
And when was this taken?
Well, when he was 13 years old. That was, he is 37 now, 24 years ago.
24 years ago. 24 years ago. Oh my God, unbelievable.
So 1972.
1970. How do you like that?
And who is in this photograph?
Michelle, my granddaughter. In the
Which
back,
one is she?
The little one.
In the front row?
Front row on the left, to the left is Michelle, my
Okay.
granddaughter. In the back is her mother, Ruth, my daughter. And next to Michelle is my son, getting married to Joanne, to the right. Next row is my daughter's husband, Michael, my wife, Magda, myself, and Marilyn, to the right, my second daughter.
And when was this taken? How long has your son been married?
I think around 10 years ago. 10, 11 years.
So
86.
86?
86.
You didn't take enough birthday pictures?
And can you tell us who's in this photo?
To the left is my granddaughter Michelle. No, my granddaughter Jessica. Next is my granddaughter in the back is Alisa. And my grandson in the front, Daniel. And to the right, my granddaughter Lauren.
We have 4 grandchildren. How many more grandchildren are there?
3 more. We have our granddaughter Michelle. And we have Carly. And Taylor. And the third one is Madison.
Thank you.